Good day all, welcome to Obed Farm. Well, there's always things that we can learn and things that we can share as farmers and those wanting to aspire to be farmers. And we try, as I said, there is a lot of things that we lie to each other about, or the things that we do not tell each other the truth about. And as I always say, that the best thing about farming is you need to go into it to understand it. There are people who will always hype this as the best thing to do, and there are going to be those people who are going to be very critical about it, and then there are going to be people who are just going to who just do it as a point of just doing it. And when you're doing it, you just don't know exactly where you want to land on farming. Well, as I always say, that I'm here to share as much information and to answer as many questions as you have. One question I was asked is, if I was to start farming, what would be the best thing to do? Well, that is never going to be a very simple or a very thing that is everyone is going to find very easy to do, because there's just so many complexity when it comes to farming. Farming is a thing that one you need to like. If you do not like farming, you're wasting your time. You can come and do this, and if you think about farming in two ways, you need to first have one, a passion for it, and secondly, you need to then think about it as a business. Well, they say when you do farming, you need to start small and grow big. Yes, but at the same time, I say no. Why I'm saying yes and I'm saying no is because there are things which you can start small on and things which you cannot start small on. Why I say this is because there are things which have got, farming has got time. It's a time limited thing. Let's start with one of the basic one, agriculture. Agriculture, planting crops, is not as that simple. Why I say that is, look, if I want to do, let's say I'm doing onions. Let me give this one, onions. I'm doing onions. Onions take between 3 to 6 months to reach to maturity. If I take the hybrid, I know that it's 3 months. So in that 3 months, it means that I need to make sure that I have enough onion to go to market within 3 months. And meaning that if I go into market with onions for 3 months, it means that I need to have enough onions to be able to sell to make sure that it turns back into a profit. So you need to make sure that the onions that you're doing them in such a way that they give you quickly back to market. If you do 6 months, that means that that's a lot of onions that you need. For 6 months, you have got no income, nothing coming through. You're only spending. So for 6 months, you'll be needing to be able to say to yourself, I'm able to spend 6 months. And for once you get that money, it needs to last you again for the next 6 to 12 months. But this is not really the major thing that I wanted to say that is very important. One of the most important things that we need to do is, when you decide to buy your piece of land, which is in a position whereby you're able to grow whatever you need to grow or whatever you are planning to farm. Why I say that is because your land determines a lot. One, are you close to to a road network? If not, do you have a vehicle which will vehicles be able to access to your piece of land? Are you able to bring farmers, the middlemen? Because sometimes there are things that you're going to be able to grow which you do not need to transport because they'll be too heavy. So you need a middleman to come and just take the whole piece of land and take everything that you have grown away. Will they be able to access it? Once you have looked at the accessibility of your land, you then need to say to yourself, is your land able to grow the crops that you want to grow? If I want to grow today a certain kind of crop, will I be able to go to market with it and sell it? Yes, I may have a passion for growing maize, but will the maize give me the amount of money back that I need? Because now it is one, passion, and two, now it's a business. If the maize is not going to give you back your money, then don't grow the maize. Do another thing that you would be able to get your money on. And once you start learning to do all these things, you will then be able to find that you will then be able to make back your money. And two, you will be able to sustain yourself for a long time in farming. But if you cannot do all these things, you will find that each and every time you're doing something, it's failing. And then you start failing, and then you start thinking, why is it failing? It's not failing because you have failed to do the thing. It's because you have got a passion for it, but there is no money that is going to be able to come back from it. After we have looked at the piece of land that we have purchased, the next most important thing is, does that place have water? Especially if I want to do agriculture. Agriculture needs water, and it needs a lot of it. Not a few, it needs a lot of it. As for me, I can't even do agriculture because I believe that what I am doing is a mixed hybrid of farming. Why I say hybrid of farming is because I do not look at the water aspect of it, because I know very well that what I grow is not really meant for resale. The time I look for things which are meant for resale is during the rainy season. So once the rain starts coming on, I start thinking that, okay, what can I grow that I can then go and sell once the rains finish and I can make money out of it? That is a hybrid. If I wanted to do agriculture full throttle, it means that for the next 12 months, I need to be doing things which are agriculturally related. All the time, I should be growing something, tending to market, growing something, going to market, which I do not do because I do not have the capacity of water. Once we have got the capacity of water sorted out, then make sure that when you do all your tilling of the land, preparing of the land, you do it correctly. Because there are times when we can cut corners thinking that me cutting this corner, I'm doing the right thing. Another thing is, when you want to do, let's say we are going to plant maize, it means that I need to buy my maize seeds, my fertilizers, my pesticides, all at the same time. Why do I say that you must buy all these things at the same time? Is because if you don't buy them all at the same time and then you say that in 2 weeks time I'll have a little bit of money, what about in 2 weeks time if you don't have that money? Why I say that is that when we start farming and we say that we want to do this full time, we have that little money that we have saved, that we are saying that now we're wanting to use that money to do the farming. But at the same time, you will also find yourself putting your hands into that money because you need to eat, you need to survive. There are so many things that you're doing on that farm. So the projects may be thinking that, let me do this other project. And when you start farming, have a clear sight in what you want to do. If you do too many projects at the same time, at the beginning, you are going to find yourself in a cash crisis because your money will quickly end. Why I say that is because I actually felt it. I came and I wanted to start piggery. I wanted to start also the main house, the farmhouse. I wanted to expand. At the same time, I wanted to do goat. I was doing goats. I was doing cattle. I wanted to do a lot of agricultural things. So I wanted to do broilers, and all these monies were being pulled to all different directions. And once all those monies were pulled into all different directions, I started struggling. And when I started struggling, I noticed it that I am struggling. I started struggling because I was not able now that money was now quickly filtering very fast. Within a day, one day you could see yourself spending $1,000, next day another $1,000. And by the time you look at it, you don't even have a cent anymore in your wallet. So be very, very careful that when you start this farming endeavor, you start it in such a way that each and everything that you're doing, you are actually planning yourself. Start with a few things, and once you start seeing that those things has now started to generate a bit of money, then do the next thing. That is the thing that I would advise anyone who wants to start farming. Then we come into making sure that we have structures. Build the correct structures the first time. Why I say that build the correct structures the first time is because you do not want to constantly be building the same structure and renovating the same structure over and over again. I learned it the hard way. I have done the pigs structure at least 3 times. 3 times I have done the pig structure, changing it, and to a point whereby you keep on changing and you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, and you keep on changing it until now I'm confident there is a difference between building and improving. I kept on building because I was not improving, because yes, now it's finished and it's complete. There is improvements. I do not need to put any water. I don't need to pour for them water. They've got their own nippling system. I've got a water tank there. Those are improvements. But building the structure whereby they kept on breaking the structure because it was not built properly, build it the correct way. And if you're not sure about the builders that you're using, make sure that you're also there to see what they are doing. Because if you don't see and you don't come and visit and look at what they are doing, trust me, they will build for you shabby things. And when they build for you shabby things, you're more interested into thinking that they're doing the right thing, but they know very well that they're doing the wrong thing. And this is whereby theft starts happening. And they will normally steal your cement. There, I do not want to lie to you, cement is easily stolen. Reasons being is because if they tell you that they need 10 bags and you're not there, they will use 5, and all they will just do is add more river sand. And when they add more river sand, it means that the structures become weak. So build structures which you build once. Even for me, the main house, I am here doing some corrections because of some of the mistakes I made. And I do know them. And now that's why I say that you learn from your mistakes. Some mistakes I have corrected, some I'm still correcting, some I'm just waiting until I have the funds and resources available for me to continue. But always understand that farming is not going to be as straightforward as you think, that everything is going to be so simple and you're just going to go into it. Especially, I don't want to lie to you, those spreadsheets that we have, it's a guide. It's a guide, but if you do not follow that guide is just there to guide you. And I don't want to lie to you, if you do all those steps and the figures don't come back the way you're thinking, it is extremely disheartening. I don't want to lie to you, it is. Because I've been disheartened. I have looked at those spreadsheets, done everything as per that spreadsheet, but still nothing comes out because the weather plays its part. And when the weather plays its part, you are bound to that weather. And when you're bound to weather, you are not in control of it. If you have the water, then at least you are in control of being able to make sure that you're able to make sure that you're able to put water and to make sure that your crops have got enough water at the right time. So these are the major things that I think as a farmer are the two major things that you need: water and making sure that you have the enough resources available for you. Always choose, especially when it comes to agricultural side. When it comes to animal husbandry, it's all a different ball game. The ball games then start saying that where do you have a market for these things? Where do you get the correct breeds for all these animals that you want to take care of? Once you start looking at all those avenues and start being able to analyze and view all those areas and being able to understand them and dissect them, you will then be able to do everything correctly. But it is always, and also another thing, try to hire the right workers for your job. This is going to be the most difficult one. We can say that you're paying the person the right price, but that the right price does not necessarily mean the right worker. That I want you to understand. You can pay me $10,000 and I'll be very happy that you're paying me $10,000. But am I actually doing the right work? Because there's some people who say that we lose workers. Yes, you lose workers. You are not hiring the right people. The right people are very difficult to find, and those right people are very comfortable in the companies that they are. That moving from them to coming to you, they do not like the uncertainty. A lot of us do not like uncertainty in life. So that is why most likely some of us are in the same job for the past 20 years, is because we have become very comfortable in that job that we are not ready to experiment by leaving that job, which makes it very difficult for you to also get the right people for the right job. All the best is to try to find someone who is willing to learn. If they are willing to learn and they are willing to make sure that you can actually guide them to doing things, you will then find that that worker or that person that you have found will become a very useful person when it comes to farming. Well, thank you very much for liking. Thank you very much for subscribing. Well, until next time, have a good day.